Hey guys, I'm Tiana and today I'm going to be showing you a college week in my life as a UC Berkeley student. Don't know what I'm doing with my hands, but I know I haven't made videos in like 2.5 years and I can explain that. So I basically graduated high school in May of 2018 and then I started college in the fall of 2018. And I'm currently a second year. I'm on winter break now, hence the YouTube video. But yeah, in the past like 2 years, ever since I graduated high school, I've just been working on short films and screenplays and being on set of short films and music videos and commercials and all that fun stuff. So I've been really trying to get into the industry and acclimating myself to what that's all about, and it's been so fun. It's definitely what I plan to pursue as a career, but obviously I miss YouTube a lot and I definitely want to get back into it. So yeah, this video is basically going to give you some insight and perspective on my experience as a Cal student, and there's actually going to be a little twist to it. So this whole video is interspersed with Super 8mm footage, and if you have no idea what that is, Super 8mm is basically like this film stock that used to be used way back when, before digital cameras, and it's kind of like that grainy vintage look that all these apps are now trying to recreate with filters. And it actually took quite a while to get that footage like processed and developed. I think that whole period took around 2 to 3 weeks, and not only was my patience crying, but so was my bank account. Also, just a disclaimer that this is only my personal experience, and there are 30,000 undergraduates at Cal, so everyone's experience is going to differ slightly from person to person. So yeah, just don't use this one video to base your opinion on an entire school. Additionally, all of that footage was filmed literally a year ago when I was a freshman, and that was my spring semester. So like I said, right now I'm a sophomore. Yeah, obviously things have changed a lot. I'm in like different clubs now, and like the classes are different. I'm not in a dorm obviously anymore because UC Berkeley kicks all their freshmen out of the dorms after their first year. But it's great because now I'm living in a house with like 12 of my closest friends, and it's amazing. But for the sake of this video, I'm just going to give you a little recap of how my freshman spring semester went. So I was taking 4 classes at the time. I was taking Cog Sci 1, Introduction to Cognitive Science, Film 25B, The History of Film, French 1, Elementary French, and Stat C8 or Data C8 or Info C8. There's a lot of titles for that. And that was Foundations of Data Science. So all of them were 4 units except for French, which was 5 units. And the reason I took French, other than it being like a wonderfully brilliant language, is because it was a prerequisite for my film major, which I'm now a declared film major. But now, without further ado, let's get into the college week in my life. Ah, the morning. The early risers cherish it, the night owls like me despise it. Looking out my window into these bright green leaves was honestly my motivation for getting up on many a days. So the freshman dorm hall that I was placed in was Clark Kerr, which is arguably the fanciest one, with the only downside being that it's 6 blocks southeast from campus, so about a 20-minute walk. It deterred some people, but it was ideal for me because it felt like a place where I could get a breath of fresh air each day in this Spanish mission-styled complex immersed in the nature. But more on that later. On this day, I was up getting dressed at 9:30 a.m. for my 10 a.m. data science class. Here at Cal, we operate on Berkeley time, meaning that classes don't start until 10 minutes later at 10:10 a.m. I opted for this light blue baby doll dress from Urban Outfitters and my Nike Air Force Ones with a chenille swoosh, my #1 go-to. Living in a dorm so far from campus, this electric scooter has been my absolute lifesaver in getting to class on time. It's the GoTrax GXL, and I highly recommend it. I keep a small bag on one of the handlebars to store my keys, phone, and bike lock while I'm scootering. So now we're headed into Wheeler Hall, which is where my data science class was held. The auditorium, named 150 Wheeler, is often used for popular introductory classes such as this one, since it allows space for up to 766 students. But don't be alarmed, these big classes typically have discussion sections with only 15 to 20 people, where graduate student instructors named GSIs break down lecture material and help you review. In fact, for this class, there were office hours from about 12 to 5 p.m. every single day, where you could just get help on your assignments.
Thinking then we will tackle it. Okay, so I have created an array called MPW maternal.
My next class was French 1, which ran from 11:10 a.m. to 12 p.m. every weekday. Oh gosh, why did I just sound like a TV channel promotion? It was held in DWINELLE Hall, which houses most of the humanities majors, such as classics, linguistics, ethnic studies.
Bonjour, classe!
Cette huit, neuf, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
After that, I would go to either the Golden Bear Cafe or a cafeteria to grab some lunch with my meal points. I decided to sit in this open area outside the MLK Student Union and watch some skateboarders as I ate. I promise, it tasted better than it looked. Then it was time to head back into DWINELLE Hall for my Film 25B class.
I've been inside for a long time now, and I don't really know how to smile.
After that was over, I needed to get some studying done, so I walked over to the lovely Doe Library.
To be what you want me to be, haven't been myself in a while.
Now, there's a hidden gem in the corner of this library called Morrison Library, where laptops aren't allowed because it's meant to be a typing-free space. The architecture is so beautiful, and it's hands down one of my favorite spots on campus. This was a reading for my cognitive science class, and then I spent the rest of my time applying for internships and getting some project work done for a tech club I'm in called Machine Learning at Berkeley, a group of undergrad and grad students working on machine learning industry consulting projects, research, and educational initiatives. That semester, I was in a group project where we worked with UNICEF to develop a geospatially diverse satellite imagery-based deep learning algorithm. In other words, building geographical models with less bias. And at last, time to scooter back to my dorm for that good dinner. What is up, my dudes? I went to say hi to my friend Allie, who's a literal sweetheart and has the coolest art on her walls.
Orange drops dripping down, diving onto daisies that grow on grassy grounds. Oh, it's summer once again. Sing some songs in the sun.
I also hung out with my friend Erica to finish up some homework.
Because nothing matters anyway, so we might as well get nothing done.
My first class of the day was cognitive science from 9:40 to 11 a.m. And for lunch, I met up with my friend Kelly for some Japanese food at TAKO Sushi on Telegraph Avenue.
And so I was like, nah, peace. Peace eight. It just fell right through the middle.
His student job is in MLK Student Union, so I just walked with him there. Later, I had a weekly general meeting for my Machine Learning at Berkeley club, where we had a professional industry speaker. It was at the Steve Wozniak Lounge in Soda Hall.
Of course, like, you don't see these evolve into like mammals and humans and things, because we're misunderstanding what they are when we think of it. It's not converging towards what we think is interesting, because what we think is interesting is all over the place. Like, there's no points to converge to. It's diverging over what we think is interesting.
In the evening, I dressed more professionally for a TV and film networking mixer hosted by another student org on campus, Business Careers and Entertainment. Here, I had some great conversations with people working at Netflix, YouTube, AJ+, etc. And from another one of their networking events, my friend Lena and I met the producer of the film Sorry to Bother You, and got to help out at his barbecue for the SF Film Festival a month later. After classes, I met up with my project partner Dylan at the Kresge Engineering Library to work on a, say it with me kids, data science assignment. We were pretty exhausted, hungry, and over it at this point. Then, a couple friends and I attended an improv show from a student club called Theater for Charity. There were, I think, 4 or 5 acts, all of which were hilarious and were actually written by the students themselves, which is super impressive. To finish off the day, I went to a party for my friend's student org called B-Side, where they discuss music and write articles for a magazine. When we got tired of partying, we went back to another friend's dorm, discussed the meaning of life as one does at 2 a.m., and watched a film, and then called it a day.
The road is long before
Now I'm going to combine the rest of the days in a non-consecutive order just to show you a little more of Berkeley life beyond the classrooms. Starting with Cal Day, an annual open house for campus, aka just another excuse for students to go wild. Just like the PG&E power outages that caused our classes to be canceled this past semester. No shade though. Now, this is what we call Frat Row. Pretty self-explanatory. It's a few blocks dominated by sorority and fraternity houses, one of which is where I live. There's this one frat right across my street that constantly blasts music at like 3 a.m., so my sleep deprivation isn't going anywhere. Moving on, there's an Urban Outfitters and Brandy Melville right across from our student union. Convenient, but tempting. Here, I sat by our dorm hall swimming pool with one of my 2 roommates, Ebru. She was sunbathing while I read a novel.
to explore
Afterwards, I hung out with my other roommate, Sasha. We checked out the library, got milkshakes at a super cute retro cafe called Saturn that has now sadly been closed down, and then we explored Elmwood District in Berkeley. It's a cutesy, vintage area with shops that remind me of the 90s.
We climbed the cliff, filled with questions. We wonder if we'll ever make it to where we wanna be.
And finally, some dining hall food from our dorm, Clark Kerr. Going to church in SF with my friend Sabrina, and pledging for the Film Society Delta Kappa Alpha, which now, 1 year later, has become no doubt one of the most transformative parts of my college experience. It's a national, professional, cinematic, co-ed, gender-inclusive fraternity. Probably missed an adjective there. The first chapter was founded in USC, and the Berkeley one started in 2013. Our chapter currently has about 90 people.
Tanya, here. Okay.
She looks so good.
I've never looked worse.
Oh, stop! Then we took a road trip to Los Angeles to meet our alumni, which resulted in staying at Denny's for 2 hours longer than intended because of a laugh attack and arriving in SoCal at 6 a.m. And of course, what's a road trip without someone sneaking a picture of you asleep? Hello, it's me again. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please comment down below suggestions of videos that you want to see in the future, whether it be college related, film set related, like how it is being like a production assistant and working on set and all of that, or like writing a screenplay, or fashion, lifestyle, stuff with friends, vlogs. Put it all down in the comments, and I will see you guys on the flip side. Bye.
The dark had swallowed up the sun.